Hello, hello everyone. I am Steve from Mac84. This is another Mac84 live stream. I thought I answered that, Jay. This is a customer's portable. So welcome. Today we're going to be looking at a Macintosh portable, which has very sad capacitors on it. This is for a client of mine. The board is over there. It does kind of work. I have some photos I'll share in a moment. I just noticed that maybe it's a setting that YouTube changed, or I have to go in and change it. But I clicked Start Stream from OBS, and then I went over to the web browser window to click Start Stream on YouTube. It already started, and this happened to me the other day with StreamYard. Like, YouTube automatically detected a stream, was like, okay, let's go. And I'm like, wait, no, I'm not ready. So that's why there were black screens, but okay. Anyway, let's see who's here. We have a daytime stream to, I guess make people not work. That's okay. As long as you're entertained, give me the view hours. I don't mind. Sorry about your productivity, but hey, maybe I'll increase your productivity. Maybe that'll help. Give a few shout outs to a few cool videos I saw this weekend. Of course, Sean of Action Retro did a lovely video on his C500 Super Mac, which is fantastic. That's a UMax Macintosh clone. And he's going to do some silly upgrades to that. He already did a few upgrades to that, but I have a feeling we haven't seen the last of that thing. I myself have one of those models. That was my very first Macintosh clone. I got it in 2008, I think, or something around then, for $10. That was a good price. And so, yeah, that was a fun video. Go check that out. I'm sure you're all subscribed to Action Retro already. Ron is here. Ron's Computer Videos is here. Ron was on the Retro Repair Roundup, maybe, podcast yesterday. Eric of Blue Scuzzy fame was there, so that was cool. But let's say hello to everyone. Subscribe to that channel if you haven't done so already. Great video podcast that gets every other Sunday or something like that. But all right, so we have Adam here. Garth is here. House of Moth is here. That is Jay. Babs, I can't pronounce your name, sorry. But Bibis, B-I-B-A, you know who you are. Sean Action Retro, I'm being very hospitable this morning. Sam is here. Let's see. Julian is here. Retro Tech or Die is here. Sam is here, if I didn't mention Sam already. Eric is here. Retro Fox, of course. Hey, Retro Fox. Ron is here, of course. Michael's Workshop is here. All Things DG is here. And the Scat Man. And thank you very much, Ron, for the super chat. Eep. Yes, only 10 days left to join Marcintosh. Flubby Nubbin. These are fun names. Funny name. All right, so we have some interesting stuff to look at today. And if you did miss the Retro Repair Roundup, and Ron, feel free to slap a link in there. You're not a moderator. Well, there you go. Now you are. Ron is a super user now, so he could add in a link to the Retro Repair Roundup. I'll give him the privilege of finding that link and putting it in there. But there was a lot of cool Blue Scuzzy information teased. I won't spoil all of it, but there's potentially some really exciting things, similar to the floppy EMU, where you could select between the images that are on there. That's something that's in the works. I don't know what revision they're thinking about for that, but it's going to be very exciting. But so what we're going to do is I don't need a stinking link. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this board. So here is a Macintosh Classic. It's a classic Macintosh, all right. This is a Macintosh portable board. This is the Backlight revision, slightly different from the original model. And the capacitors on here are disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And it does work. It does turn on. The individual who gave this to me to recap said it had some issues. They gave me two machines, a original one and a Backlight model. So let me fish out the photos for here. See if I can get those on the screen. Just give me a moment here. But it does turn on, and when it turns on, it tries to boot from the floppy, but unfortunately, it just like sort of reboots. Like it's almost like it doesn't get enough power, or it's shorting out, and it's like, and it doesn't go quite as planned. So what we're gonna do is I'm going to grab the photos here, and I'm going to show you, and then we'll look under the microscope. We'll be cleaning it up and all that fun stuff. But essentially, they wanted this cleaned up and fixed up, and obviously we're going to try and do that for them. Now, it does look like it's in excellent shape. Unfortunately, I do not have all the capacitors for this, so we're not probably going to get to recapping this today, but we'll be cleaning it up, and whatever caps I do have, we can try and recap. So let me go over here, and I'm going to share the images. Whoops, there we go. And we're going to put that on the screen. There. And so you could see here that this chip right next to these two caps is just being bombarded by a capacitor from the top and the bottom. It had no safe spot there. Ugh, just absolutely destroyed. And it doesn't get better, unfortunately. We have, that's just another view of the same one. And then this is by one of the I/O connectors for the keyboard and the mouse. And yeah, that doesn't look too good. We have even some green on the U2L chip, which isn't nice. We also have some more corrosion there and some more capacitor leakage and lovely stuff by the back I/O ports. And these caps are always in such a hard spot to get to. It's even with magnification and small tools, it could really get nasty in there. Just another shot of the I/O from the other I/O port, rather. Some more caps right against the plastic there. Always fun. And that's you can just see where everything leaked, because all the hair and all the junk that is there. You just look at that. Look how disgusting that is. Absolutely disgusting. So no question in my mind, this is leaked. This is causing problems. The machine is not functioning correctly. When I try to plug in a SCSI device to boot from, the machine is dead. Completely dead. So dead that when I plug in the SCSI device, it actually prevents the backlight from working until I remove the batteries and let the machine sit for a while. So it must be shorting out something. And yeah. And the traces and everything on this machine are very fragile. I know Tech Knight is sort of an expert on the subject of Macintosh portables, and I've been very much lucky to have him help me troubleshoot my own Macintosh portable a few months ago. And yeah, not fun. Not fun. My Centra 610 Atom actually is it's a Quadro 610, and the caps right to the bottom middle of the board, or maybe to the right a little bit, leaked right through that V and just was destroyed. I had to run a bodge wire and then fix it up. But yeah, absolutely insane. But if I didn't give you an EEP run, EEP! But happy Macintosh 2022. Get some Macintosh content out there before the month is over. All right. So yeah, some grade A gunge. That is absolutely correct, Sean. You got some grade A gunge there, and hopefully we could clean this up, make it look much better. So we're going to switch over to the microscope in a moment so we can get a look at that. I do have a box that I want to unbox of goodies from Vintage Hillbilly Shack, but I probably want to wait until they're actually on the stream. I don't want to, just do something without them, because they sent me some cool stuff, and I want to have them here to talk a little bit about that and make sure this is all in focus before I jump to it. Yeah, that's close enough, maybe. Hold on, please. If I don't get this right now, it'll haunt me forever. Stuck at some crazy high resolution. Oh, that sounds like fun. Okay, cool. So, let's take a look at these nasty caps, starting with what I think are the worst. This is by the ADB and the serial ports on the back of the Macintosh Portable. And if we could find the spot, because we were a bit zoomed in here. There we go. Ugh. Yeah, that's not good. So we're gonna have to clean this up. Now, I will say, with these Macintosh portables, there was a lot of argument about, oh, well, you could just use a PowerBook power adapter. You'll be fine. You don't have to worry. However, you have to keep in mind that for the Macintosh Portable, look at how much that's. Look at that. That just came right off. That just popped right off there. Thankfully, the pads are okay. But I just graced it with this. I wasn't even pushing. These are kamikaze caps here. Oh goodness. Well, as I was saying, the power adapter that ships with the Macintosh Portable is different in amperage than the PowerBook power adapter. So most people think, oh, I could just use it, it's fine, it seems to work, so I'm just going to leave it. Well, over time it can damage things because the power adapter circuitry goes in line. Oh, I see some bad vias here. Goes in line with the battery pack. So if you're running it without a battery or if you're using that original adapter, you can cause problems long term. And apparently the floppy controller is extremely, extremely fragile. And you could fry that chip very easily to a point where on Tech Knight's expertise, I removed my floppy adapter, floppy chip there to prevent myself from frying that chip as I was working on the machine. So, what, Adam? All functional memory chips? That's just silly. That's just silly. But my Max Roll 1995 Fernando, well, that's pretty good. I mean, you will see selective machines start to have their capacitors fail because they are pretty darn old at this point. But most of my work has been focused on the 68K machines because those are the ones that really need help. They are ones that you should have recapped long ago. So I'm just cleaning up some areas here, and then I'll get out the hot air gun and we'll continue. But getting the caps off rather. But ugh. Oh yeah, look at this chip here. Oh, is that leg gone? No, okay, good. It was just covered in crap. Ugh. I mean, that was surely shorting out this poor chip here. And I actually don't even know what this chip does, but it was not happy. Let's just say that. It's leaking caps day. Yes. Oh no, lick the caps day. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Edit PDFs. Well, I mean, Acrobat unfortunately is you're the go-to, but I know there are plenty of other good ones. Preview does an okay job, but I use Photoshop if I have an old version of Photoshop that I use, but if it's multi-page Acrobat, there's a few others. There's some free ones online, but I think they're like freemium ones where you got to pay. But if anybody else knows one, give Adam a tip there. Yeah, I might have to remove this chip just to clean under it because that is absolutely disgusting. Oof. Oh, look at that cap. That just flew right off too. My goodness. No wonder this machine is temperamental. Caps won't even stay on. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. So, let's begin by continuing here. Oops, what did I do? I'm sorry, I clicked on something there. Oops. What did I do? Sorry. Better than ripped traces, I suppose. But yeah, it's pretty nasty. Pretty nasty. So we'll have to take that chip off for sure. Oh boy. Well, let's focus on this area since it's close by. Well, it's not too terrible compared to the rest, but it's right against this plastic, so that's going to be fun to get off. And anybody who just joined, hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. We are cleaning up this. Oh, just look how wobbly these are. Cleaning up this Macintosh Portable Backlit Edition. Second model of the portable that came out. And its caps are in pretty rough shape. But hopefully not beyond repair. The traces look good so far. Leaves nothing behind but the great smell of pine. Oh, Ron. Ron. Yes, that's not too bad. Okay, so I think it's time to start getting these caps off the board. We do have some nasty stuff that is collected even under the axials. And these, it looks like it's just leaked a little bit. But one of the axial caps on a different Mac portable board, I keep wanting to say Mac Classic, One of the axial caps on a previous Mac portable board was just like you could just see there was all this horrible goo just coming right out of it. Yeah, that smell of rotten fish will wake you up right in the morning. I guarantee you on that. Oh boy. Sorry, Jay. I know you were planning to be lazy today, but oh well. Now you're not lazy. Now you feel productive. I forgot to give some shout-outs to some things. I got this from my lovely friend James, aka Hyper Talking. Look at this guy. A little squishy. This is actually called the Smack a Mac. So it's meant to be this little, you know, plushy thing that you get your frustrations out on. So if you're like, you're not booting correctly, you know, I don't know. I'm sorry. It does need to be a little bit cleaned, but that's part of the charm as well. But, you know, so if you're giving me the death chimes, you know, I don't know. That'll be the thumbnail for this stream. But yeah, it's really cool. One of those things they made in the 90s. This is by a company that was located in San Diego. Smack-A-Mac is the name of this. They have a little KISS logo instead of the Apple logo. This looks like a dual drive SE, but I think it's cool. But yeah, he's a little happy guy. He's going to be sitting right here. I'll put him on the shelf somewhere or something like that, but that'll be fun. Squish is like a good Macintosh should. It needs a retro bright. It needs to go in the dishwasher. No, not the dishwasher. Why would I put it in the dishwasher? In the washing machine. The thing that washes clothes. That's the word. This is remembering things with Steve of Mac84. Remembering things poorly. Okay, so let's get our soldering iron set up here so we could get some of those capacitors out. I will say I'm still working on that Mac 2 from the other night. I haven't finished that yet. It's still giving me problems with the startup circuit. So I have to continue that at one point. But for now, we're going to focus on this. The customer has asked me a bit of urgency to try and take a look at this. It's been on my to fix list for a while. And yeah. So we're going to try and get the axials off first. If they don't come quietly, we'll use the machine and we'll get those done. But yeah, I do need to put the camera back up for the whatchamacallit? What's the word? The above cam, so you can see me doing these things from a different angle. But replica Performa 5400 that collapses into 50 pieces when you touch it. That seems like fun. Yeah, so let's try and weasel these axials out. Sometimes, you know, it's easier said than done. The particular axials on this one, they seem to have, at least in this case, use tweezers here. They seem to have the little pins from the axial cap that are bent outward. So you have to straighten those first, because if you try and get those out at an angle, you're not really going to be able to do it. So it's a little bit of a pain. You sort of have to get some leverage on it, which is easier said than done. So I'm getting some leverage now. I with the tweezers, now I pin that off the board. But it's right next to this plastic. That's fun too. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to... Oh, I should have used the other tip. Well, we're going to try it with this one. We'll see how it goes. So I'm going to just forget the step where I put flux on everything. It's Monday, guys, huh? In case of the Mondays. Alright. Just a wee bit of flux. And we're just going to heat the heck out of that to try and suggest that this cap is free. Move freely, my friend. You're no longer imprisoned on this board. Yeah, I should probably just use the machine for this. Yeah, why the heck not? What am I wasting my time here for? Let me make sure it's plugged in. Totally battery bombed LC3. You get some good chips off of that, Adam. If you want. All right, let's take a look at the machine here. Is it plugged in? No, it's not. I need to find a power plug. Not Not find. I have like a billion of them, but need to find one that's not plugged into anything. That one was not plugged into anything, so maybe we'll use that one. Sure. Let me get my lazy butt up here. I'll shuffle myself over here. Grab a power cord. Any update on Eric's Macs? Well, the 575 is still giving me trouble. The Classic 2 is working great. So I will still have to troubleshoot that 575. Unfortunately, what happens is people send me machines. And the easy ones get more... sorry, power strip fell. I'll continue that train of thought. 1 second. Plug this in first before I forget. Okay, so the what was I saying? Oh, about fixing things. So what happens is I'll usually get something to fix, and the ones that are more problematic take longer, and they'll be pushed aside usually because I need to move forward. I can't just sit and work on that one board, or I'll just never get anything done. And that's what I was doing previously, unfortunately. I would just say, oh, well, I got to fix this because I started this one. And then I'd realize I just put myself into a heck of a hurtful backlog. And people were like, oh, yeah, I understand. You know, it's, you know, my machine was problematic. You'll get back to it. And so that's all well and good. So I was just, you know, making a silly decision of, what is this? Of, oh, I got to do this in order. But you know what? That was hurting me. So I changed that up, especially because now I do not have, I'm recently unemployed. Let's just say that. And so I need to get the jobs done that I can get done easily and get some income. And then we'll worry about the problematic ones. And Eric will understand that because he's tried to fix that board many a time, and so he knew it wasn't going to be anything easy. All right, let's turn on the machine here. Where's the power button? It's in the back. There we go. So that's starting up there. And this thing makes some noise, so just be aware of that. Adam says he used the old iMac G4 power cable on the Mac Studio because he did not like the black cable that came with it. $100 for a battery-bombed LC3? More like $5. That's what I paid for an LC2 that Jay got from recycling. It's obviously beat up and battery-bombed. Yeah, I gave an offer of $5 for that. My goodness. Oh, boy. Alright, so just waiting for this to heat up there. And while we're doing that, here's the camcorder that should be up there, if you don't mind. I'm just going to try and put that back so you get a nice top-down view. Ooh. That's sure making a nice burny smell. Burn, burn, burn. Is that normal? I hope it is. Oh, boy. Why do I smell burnt toast? Okay, just plugging in this HDMI cable here. And turning on the camcorder. So if we do need to get a above view shot, we have that set up because I did move it when we were working on the Mac 2 that other time. So that's good. All right. Sorry about that. All right, so let's get started. Oh, yeah, it's maybe just dust. I don't know. Making a lot of burning smells. Good, delicious burning smells. I'll wake you up. Mac Portable for $1,000. Nope, they all need recapping, so definitely not what you want there. Alright, so we're just going to loosen up that... Oh, look at that. It just almost came right out there. Well, that was, like, funny. Alright. Well, exactly how I expected, but... yeah, the problem is these pins are bent. So we have to bend them back. Yeah, with the Mac Portable, you want to make sure it's actually bootable. You want to make sure it is functional, because let's just say it's not easy to find parts for these things anymore, and they can be extremely sensitive. And hello everybody who just joined. Sorry if I didn't catch you earlier in the stream. We have about 30 people watching. Not bad for a Monday morning, afternoon, whatever it is. Just do live streams all day, then I don't have to go back to work. Maybe if I had like quadruple the subscriber amount, that would work. A man can dream. Oh, this one's on the ground plane. That's going to be fun. So I'm just holding the cap behind it, and I'm just trying to heat this up. Ooh, almost got it. Halfway through. I might just need some persuasion with the iron. Yeah, that's not going to go anywhere. Okay, anything else that I should give it a go with the machine? I guess those, these tall boys here. These are usually a bit easy. Have you not had any luck on the job front? I start my new job on the 4th. Well, I've been selectively applying to things, but I'm not like looking for a entry-level position or anything like that. So I've had interviews and stuff, but nothing has accumulated as of yet. Let's just say that's okay. I'll find something. If not, you just get a lot more live streams from me. And I'm talking a lot more. Steve Campbell's electricity bill live stream. Nobody wants that. Oh, these smell awful. Oh, God. This is terrible. Why, Apple? Why? Oh. Alright, so I think that's the best we can do with the machine here. Yeah, a lot of those LC machines are unfortunately beyond repair. There's nothing really you could do other than pray for them. And even that at that point. Alright, so what I'm just doing is a few of these almost came out. And so I'm just going to... Yeah, let me get a better angle on this, because we all need a new angle on life. Why isn't this detecting that correctly? Oh, OBS. You and your camera systems. Oh, well, thank you very much, Bacon Admin. Greatly appreciate the super chat. Eep! Thank you. That is very kind. NJ Edison Patreon live stream. Whoever touched your power. Yeah, it's, what is it, JCP and Elder. One of those crooks. Oh, lovely. Yeah, the camera doesn't want to work today. Let's reseat the HDMI cable, just for fun. That's not going to do anything. I was going to use the above cam and be all fancy and everything, but it doesn't look like my machine wants to cooperate. Oh, there it goes. Hey, we got to resize that, don't we? Yep, we do. It's all out of whack. All out of whack. There we go. And it's not showing my little camera, of course. Why bother? Huh? Why bother? There I am. There we go. But thank you very much for the super chat. Eep! Yeah, this one is a Pros Kit SS331. And it was not dirt cheap, but it was very affordable compared to the others. It seems to work pretty well. I mean, this is only like the second or third time I've used it, but yeah, the lighting on this camcorder is not going to be the best. Oh, there's a significant amount of lag. Thanks, OBS. I guess we'll just deal with that temporarily, because we're not going to be in this view for long, hopefully. But I just wanted to show you what I was going to do. And unfortunately, with these caps, sometimes they can be very stubborn. So I'm just going to hold the capacitor and heat up one of the legs. It is mostly out of that port there. The via, whatever you want to call it. Words are hard, especially on a Monday. Oh, that smells disgusting. And I should be using the larger tip for this because it's probably not going to heat it up as much as it needs. There we go. Just needed a bit of persuasion there. And I'm going to do the... Oh, God, I've never had an axial smell that bad. Oh, gosh, that's awful. Ugh. Yes, flux will clog it up. From I believe Joe was telling me that on one of the streams. There we go. Oh, I'll take a look at you later. This nasty cap. Okay, and this one, same deal. It was almost on its way out. I just decided to hang on for dear life. It was like, please, there we go. That one's out there too. All right. Oh, yeah. Fish market is working overtime today. Yeah, a lot of these are, unfortunately, these caps have their legs bent each way. So they're going to be a bit, these radio ones, or what do you call them? They're a bit difficult to get out. Not impossible, but just, a bit frustrating because you have to bend them. Ugh. Yeah, that one's, both of the pins are bent. Words. I find it's just the easiest way to just persuade them and wiggle them out of their spots there. And we have a few more of these to go. Yeah, this one, both of the legs are bent, so I'm going to have to put this down. And I'm going to have to use my tweezers to bend those pins upwards, which may not be possible because it looks like are they soldered in that position? Yeah, they are. Let me show you how that looks under the microscope to explain what the heck is going on here. So right here, you can see those are the pins for this capacitor, and they are tilted. So you can't just stick the machine on there and go, the little, what Bruce calls the machine. I call it Claris, because it makes the dog cow noise. But yeah, you can't really bend these up. So, well, you can, but it's going to take some effort. And you want to be careful. So, probably going to loosen it up and just try and persuade it to come quietly. I know it's out of focus because the board is kind of wobbly, so sorry. Hopefully that's a bit better. Oh, that smells awful. Okay, yeah, now that I applied some heat to it, I could move that. Hopefully the same thing for this. Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay, so now that those pins are moved, put it on its side again. and suggested this capacitor get the heck off my board. Get off my plane! This one's a stubborn one. Come on. All your friends have gone. You can get out of here too. That much fuss. There we go. And do we have any others? Yes, we have two over here. Well, have fun, Jay. Sorry. Garth is working on a 475 board that won't boot. No schematics are available, I'm aware, but it's close to an LC3, which I do have schematics for. Well, good luck with that. Those are... I have a battery bombed one, unfortunately. I didn't even try to save it. It was just so exploded. And thankfully, I don't have too many battery bomb boards, but that took the taco there, pal. Where was I just soldering? Here we go. So we have two more of these that we have to pry upwards. Well, this board is an awkward size. Come on. There we go. Yeah, that's why I do my shopping online and do the pickup, because then I can read all the labels online and all that fun stuff. And I already know about the crap I'm going to put in my cart. But I know not all stores give you that opportunity. And then you see something new and it's like, ooh, what's this? Oh, these smell awful. Usually the axial ones don't stink as bad, but this one's just, you know, giving them all a bad name. I hope everyone's Monday is not off to a terrible start. I don't have stress about Mondays anymore. I used to be very stressed about Mondays at my old, well, 2 jobs ago. I was so stressed about Mondays because I had all these dumb, like, project meetings on Mondays. So like, oh, let's see if everything's on track. And then nobody would, like, show up. So it's be me, the project manager, being like, yeah, I think we're okay. And then there'd always be this one stickler of, like, a 60-year-old guy. I'm like, well, if no one's here, how would you be sure that? And I'd be like, I don't know. I'm guessing here. It's not my fault nobody showed up. And I can say that now because they're all dead. Well, not all of them. I didn't do anything. Mother Nature did. Hey, all things DG, thank you for the super chat. For all the instructions before I started recapping and all the distractions since. Well, thank you very much for the super chat. Yep, I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to put them in the chat. I have been thinking, anybody remember the show Call for Help? The Tech TV show? Anyone remember that? I didn't get Tech TV until much later in life because we had cable and it was only on the satellite provider in the area. And when my parents eventually got satellite, then I got it. But it was in our summer house or their, where they would retire eventually. And it wasn't anything that I had direct access to. So it was always like unobtainium. I'd set up a VCR to record it while we were away for weeks on end. And then I'd come back and realize a power outage just, decided not to record. Interrupted the VCR schedule, so it wouldn't record. VCRs, fun times. Oh, Leo's nice, though. I want an iPhone from him, so maybe I'm just, Hey, Daniel, no worries. I want an iPhone from him, so maybe I'm biased. He seems like a really sweet guy, but that's just me. Yes, Action Retro's in the chat. We're going to bother him with questions. No. Yeah, so the Call for Help, I loved both Call for Help and the screensavers. They did revive the screensavers for a while, and then I guess it fizzled out again. Which, I understand, there's just so many of those shows now. It was nice to see them again, but it wasn't all the same hosts, because they all moved on to other things. I think that show really would have excelled if they would have brought it back, like, only a few years after hiatus, because, like, with the explosion of the iPhone and everything like that, I think those shows were slowly switching to YouTube. But if they were back at that stage, I think they would have lasted longer. But what I would like to do, and I don't know how I'm going to do it, I would like to do like a call for help style show. I don't know what I'm going to name it. But for vintage Macs, and I don't know if I'd necessarily have people call in, because the internet is the internet, and you'll be some guy being like, can you fix my Macintosh? Poopy, 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 poopy. And I'll be like, oh boy. Hey, Kai. And so maybe it'll be text-based or something like that from the live chat or something. But yeah, I'd like to do sort of like a ask me your vintage Mac questions, because I'm pretty good at troubleshooting them. And if I don't know, I know some other smart people. Speaking of smart people, hello, Kai Robinson. So yeah, I was thinking that might be like a fun thing. Like I'll be like archiving discs while I ask questions, answer questions from others. I can't really do that while I'm soldering and repairing stuff, because my attention is usually focused on that. But if I'm archiving a disc or something slow paced like that, I think it would be a good opportunity to answer questions. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that sort of thing. I know we have a few Mac veterans here, but for anybody who are just getting into the vintage Mac scene, I think it's not a bad platform to have questions be asked by an audience and try and figure them out. I could do some screen sharing of my vintage Macs to show people how to do things, which I think is something I have the unique ability to do, so that would be cool. I'm just thinking about that. It might be something to pursue, sort of like a call for help, but for vintage Macs, and sort of like a live-ish show or whatever. Oh, well, thank you very much, Gray Hair Discoveries. I like your avatar and your username. Thank you very much for the super chat. Eep! I can't help you make rice, guy. I can't. There's only so much I can do. Well, enjoy your preparation for dinner, and have a good dinner. All right, so we got all the nasty axial caps off of here. Let's take a look at some of them. I don't think I see any visible leakage. I sure smelled it. But let's take a look under the microscope, see if we can see any nastiness from this portable. I'll put the board down here. Yeah, switch over to the microscope. Yeah, I'll have the red phone to call Apple if I don't know the answer. I mean, I'm pretty knowledgeable about this stuff because I have a sickness. But, if I don't, I can always just say, oh, go on Tinker Different, or here's a guide for that, etc. Maybe take questions ahead of time somehow and then present answers after you've been able to research. Though, with any tech support, there's usually back and forth. Yes, that is correct, Garth. Maybe for the hard ones, we'll do something like that. But, could it be expanded to software on the Mac questions? Yeah, I mean, I would say anything pre-Intel would probably be my most expertise. I mean, I will certainly do my best, but I'm more familiar with the PowerPC early Intel stuff, not really the later ones, because as of right now, I don't have a more recent Mac. I like your idea there, Sean. Dig up ancient old Apple support threads and try and solve them. With my luck, you'll be like, I have a 2014 such and such, a 2004 iBook 14-inch, and blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, that's a recall. That's the graphics card. It's recall. These don't show too much visible leakage, the axials, but look at these guys. Let's try and get a focus on. Oh, goodness. Yeah, those are a bit leaky. Let's see if we could focus on that a little bit. Yeah, those look. Yeah, that's delicious. I did have someone contact me recently about a Macintosh 8100, and they were like, "Oh, I have a client. Ooh, look at that one. I have a client who, brought me this machine. They want to get data off of it, but I'm not really familiar with these old machines. In the garbage, the caps go. Can you give me a call and figure it out and stuff like that?" And it's like that. I don't really necessarily do that, because if you're going to troubleshoot with me, in order to take up the least amount of time, I just suggest you go on Tinker Different or something like that. But if somebody directly reaches out to me and it's something simple, I will reply from time to time. But on Twitter and Instagram in my profile, I say, please no tech support DMs, because I get people. Oh, that looks like a fun one there. I get people from all over just being like, oh, I have a 2017 this and that, and it doesn't do this. And I'm like, okay, I've never used Monterey, so good luck with that. Or I'm trying to install Big Sur on a Hackintosh, and it's doing this. It's like, that's the thing I have no experience with. Like, do you even watch my content? Do you know who I am? I don't have these things. Not yet, at least. But, yeah. So, I mean, it's something that just been in my mind. Might be something fun to do. But, recall for help. No. We were talking about something different, Jay. You could go shopping. Don't worry. How do I open this ClarisWorks document on my iPad? Probably not too bad. Call for help from the grave. Yeah, I don't know if the call for help name is still like copyrighted or I mean not that. I mean, maybe I would get a cease and desist, but I was trying to think of a better name than call for help last night when I was up at like 4 a.m. because I couldn't sleep and I was reading technical documentation for the IBM 601 PowerPC processor. True story. And I couldn't really think of one. I was thinking of like Mac911 or Mac Help or something. I don't know, vintage Mac Help. I want to stress like the vintage or the retro because otherwise you'll get the loonies who are talking about Big Sur and this and that. And I'm like, I don't. Go away. Stop bothering me. Dead Apple Society. Dead Mac Scrolls. I have content. I think so. I think Mike 911. Mike 911 would be a whole different show. It would just be that clip of his father-in-law just running over him with the truck and me just making fart noises in the background. If that's the type of content you want to see, that's a bit low effort for me, I'd be happy to do it. None of this writing scripts for 2 years and doing research on Macintosh clones and important stuff like that. No, none of that. It's just the poop humor of the internet. All right, so this is actually slightly tilted. That's why I'm only getting focus like half. Huh, like that. Maybe I'm just messing with my microscope adjustment here. I think I screwed something up not too long ago, but I'm only getting the call for EEP. Kind of like that. What about a stream where a bunch of us fellow nerds tackling submitted tech questions? Yeah, something like that. That's so maybe like we could do like a special, because I have that open talk podcast. I don't want to branch out and do too many different things because then I feel like I'm spreading myself too thin or whatever. But maybe that's the way to do it. Have like a submission thing, and once we get a good amount of submissions, then we review those in the show. I think that would be a good one. EEP Squad. Wait, patent pending. Hold on. Let me copyright that. EEP Squad. Oh god. Okay, so yeah, I guess it's time to get out the hot air gun and blast away these caps. I mean, some of them have fallen off themselves. Like this little guy here. He just didn't want to live anymore. It's like, I'm getting out of here. Bye. Take on superhero names. My name is Captain EEP. That's my superhero name. EEP Squad. Instead of the Geek Squad, the EEP Squad. Oh boy. Alright, so we're going to get the hot air station turned on here in a moment. Steve is Captain EEP, saving the world from all the EEPs. Yeah, that's close enough. I don't think this cap is going to take much heat. It's just going to be like, boop, and fly off. We'll see. I wish I could move this hot air station just ever so closer, but my desk is so full of crap that it's just not possible right now. Well, maybe it is. We'll see. I have to get a lot of things, little things. My budget is a little bit constrained right now. But the super chats do help, so thank you. I'm saving up for that stupid expensive power supply for that Mac SE project I'm working on, because I got a great response from that, but I don't have the $200, $300 to dump on that mini power supply, the same one that Sean had in his cursed Mac SE. So unless anybody has a good lead on one of those, not that I should be buying that right now, but I didn't put flux on this. How silly of me. I mean, I think this is just going to pop right off, but still. These are just the ramblings and ravings of a crazy man. Yep, there we go. Whee! Oh, it got stuck again. No, it didn't. Move the trash bin over here. Hey, Justin, how's it going? It was, it's this small, tiny one. Sean, do you know? Oh, well, thank you, Sean. I greatly appreciate that. The Eep Squad seed investment. I like this. I like this plan. I like this. And Sean, we'll break your non-streaming tradition. You can come on my show for premium solder. Thank you very much. Print and play retrospective. Kai, yeah, I forget the exact model. Sean, could you? I know it's a Meanwell or Seasonic. Yeah, Seasonic. That's what it is. It was like Seasonic or something like that. You don't have to, Garth. I have my thing, the pegboard, and I've just put these on the pegboard. I don't use them that often, so it's, don't worry. These are niceties that just are very nice to have, and I will never say no to a donation, but I don't want to make people feel obligated. I'm silly like that. Oh, thank you, the Wesker. Greatly appreciate it. Eep, eep, eep. All the super chats. Thank you. Housework done so far. Excellent. Now you have to go tinker with things, Justin. That's the order of priorities here. Cash then. Yes. My best friends call me Cash. Yeah, so a power supply like that, unfortunately, is a bit pricey, which I understand. It's a very small device, and it's compact, and all the supply issues in the world today are, but costs about $60. Huh. So that's the RTs. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. $60. That's not bad at all. I think, yeah, the problem is the one that I was trying to find a cheaper one, but all the ones didn't have like the negative volt 5 volt and the positive 5 volt. So I was like, ugh, that's annoying. Going to recap your Apple IIe card today. Well, good luck on that. There's only 2 caps on there. Just take it slow and you'll be fine. Justin. I know exactly how that is. Trust me. Alright, so let's move on here. We do have some more caps to remove. I'm going to save the worst for last. Hopefully these ones will come quietly. Oh boy. Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully the shortage of things is not going to affect the short. Oh, my microscope is super zoomed in on OBS because it likes to forget all the settings. You've been looking at a super zoomed in view. Sorry about that. There we go. That's much better, huh? I was like, why is this so focused on one area? Hey, Eric, how's it going? But yeah, so I just need to find a suitable priced power supply for that SE project. It just needs to run the LCD screen and the logic board and a few small things like a Raspberry Pi maybe, so nothing crazy voltage. It doesn't have to be like a 500 watt or anything silly like that. Oh, you found an LC2 from eBay. The seller didn't even know it was there. Ah, that's great. You want to buy what from me? What? Okay. Oh, by golly, it is there. That's awesome. Happy to help in however way I did. But if you do find one of those power supplies, hit me up on Discord or Tinker Different or Twitter or any of that nonsense. Email mac84tv@gmail.com. Oh, these smell awful. No. I feel like Marty McFly in Back to the Future. Oh God, no! Doc, no! These are just horrible. Ugh. At least we're not putting up too much of a fight. Oh, that one flew. All right. $59. Jeez. Well, I will have to take a look at that. Maybe what I was looking at was just a crazy site that had them at a stupid high price. I could spend that amount on one of those, but well, thank you very much, Luke. I'm glad you're excited, because this could be fun. Now, as I said in the beginning of the stream, I don't have all the capacitors I don't have all the replacement capacitors for this yet. So we're going to be taking off the caps here. I'm going to be putting on the axials that I can. And whatever cap values that I have currently, I will be doing that. But I have to do a mouser order. I should have done that before I started the stream. But we won't be here for too many hours today, because I do have other things to do. It is a beautiful day out. I promised my wife we would ride our bikes or something like that. I know, not fixing computers. What's wrong with you? But there are other things we have to do in life. Oh, well, thank you very much, Kai. That is greatly appreciative. Happy to act as a shipping intermediary. And the same goes to you, Kai. If there's anything ever in the U.S. that, for whatever reason, they don't ship to you or anything like that, I'd be happy to pay it forward, as it were. Hopefully these just come off quietly. Yep. In the trash you go. You ain't hurting any more Macintoshes anymore. Ooh. Well, I'm excited. Thank you. Thank you, Kai. Ooh. Got some fun PCB projects to work on. I won't spoil the fun. Kai Robinson has been very generous and has sent me some goodies to play around with, and I'll be plugging the hell out of them on here. We're going to try and do a fun stream together, myself and Kai. I have some questions to ask him as a follow-up to my last open talk that I did with him when he was just finishing up the SE Reloaded project. That tells you how long ago it was. And of course, Kai's been very active on Tinker Different, posting updates to his other projects and stuff like that. And it'll be lovely to catch up with him again and do some live tinkering of trying to figure out some solutions to other issues with these machines. And so, I don't know when that's going to be. Tape is delicious. But I think that'll be a lot of fun. So I have that to look forward to whenever Kai finds the time, in a few weeks, few months, whenever it is. I think we'll have a lot of fun with that. I'm sorry, let me scroll up. I'm missing part of the chat. Do you have a bicycle built for 2? No. I don't think they make them for the size that I am. Hope you're having a better day than I am. Well, so far, what happened? First time watching you fix. Still waiting a refund from eBay. I ordered an LCD panel from... canceled my order, claiming the panel is either damaged or out of stock. Oh, that stinks. Angle grinder and a MIG welder. Does that cover that request? You know what, Kai? Do it. Oh, Bill, you are very welcome. We will be returning to the Mac 2. But as I was mentioning earlier, some of the problem Macs are always fun. I'm just moving on to this one to sort of clear my head. But that Mac 2 will still be worked on, rest assured. I'm happy that it's at least booting, even if it needs some assistance in doing so. Oh, okay. Well, that just all kind of fell off there. Oh God, that's disgusting. Look at the bottom of these caps. This will be like a good clip for YouTube. Look at the bottom of that. Ooh. In the trash they go. That sounds like a lot of fun, Kai. Yes, we can do it afterwards. Don't worry. Problematic. Oh, problematic. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. got a stack of Mac 2s on tray, but they have no idea what the status is. I'm not smart enough to get this far into the weeds yet. Print and play, I would offer $50 per machine and see what they think. Because, unfortunately, those types of machines could have power supply issues. They could have logic board issues. I mean, look, I'm cheap and I'm frugal. I am. And I freely admit that. But I also don't like to waste money on things that may not work. And so my general rule of thumb for picking up anything vintage that is in questionable working shape, it's a bit different when you could test it out and all that stuff, but generally speaking, when you can't test it out, when something is questionable, when you know it's going to need recapping or this or that, I don't like to go above $50 because then it's like, okay, well, anything higher than that was a bigger investment than I probably should have made on this item. But I know sometimes you don't always get that chance. People look on eBay, they be like, it's worth $1,000, and you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to walk away because that's obviously not happening. All right, so we're just going to use our soldering iron here with a ball of solder on it to try and get all this gunk off there. Turn this fan back on. Those caps have any decency. I'm eating lunch. I'm sorry, they don't have any decency. Any at all. I saw your email, Bill. Thank you. That was very, very kind and very touching. I'm so happy to try and give this machine, the Macintosh 2, another lease on life. It is my absolute pleasure. You know, when you have somebody in the community like Tom, where they enjoyed these machines and they cherish them, it's just one of those things where you want to keep them circulating, you want to keep them alive. The absolute least I could do is try to work on that. It's already working pretty well. We're just trying to diagnose the startup circuitry on that Macintosh 2 for anybody who missed that stream. We did get it working. That was a crazy 7-hour long stream. It was going to be shorter, but Bruce and Jay and some of the guys from MacYak joined. Dana was there too. And we just had a bit of a solder party. But, you know, that startup circuitry on the Mac 2, it's not just one chip. It's a series of chips and pathways and vias and all this stuff that make up the way that the machine turns on. And yes, you could bypass that. However, that's not really an elegant solution. And I'd really like to try and get the startup circuitry fixed on that machine. But there's this whole path on the board you have to follow, and you have to diagnose things, and you have to look at the schematic and try and work things out. And so far, I haven't figured out what the cause is of why that's not working correctly. But maybe we'll discover the secret of that in another stream, which I plan on doing. It's not the last you'll see of that machine. But I wanted to at least get the caps off of this Macintosh Portable so it wasn't sitting here. And then I have to order the caps because I don't have all of them for this. But at least then these caps are not causing any more leakage to this board, because I'm surprised the thing actually turned on in the condition it was in. Because I did turn it on. I did play around with it. It tried to boot from a floppy and kept resetting. It's probably because one of the chips was shorting itself out or whatever. But, yeah. Retro PC hardware cheaper than Macs. I believe it. People see an Apple logo and price goes to their head. They're a bit silly. Oh, of course, Bill. I'm very, very glad to have done that. The absolute least I could have done. But unfortunately, I never had the pleasure of meeting Tom. I believe we've corresponded in the same threads on forums because they did have a sizable collection. But I'm sad to say I did not know the individual personally. Sounds like a great guy by all accounts. I know Sean is doing his best to make sure the Quadra 950 of his lives on. Just some dirt and crud here. Yeah, just some nasty bits here. And the solder wick will take care of most of that. We'll clean those up in a little bit. But this is looking much better than it did before. Okay, let's see what other caps we have to worry about here. Are we all done? Was that it? I think we're done. We have to clean up the caps area, the area of the caps. But yeah, they were just sort of falling off there. So that's great. Well, Print and Play, I wish you the very best. Hopefully you get some positive news. And I am happy to distract. Do you have any questions about old computers? Let's distract you further, huh? I know the feeling. Ugh. Nasty. It's always fun working so close to plastic. I always tell all my clients, look, there's always a chance of something melting or getting discolored or whatever. That's just the risk of these projects, but I really try and be careful. I really do. Because I want these machines to be looking just as nice as I would want mine to look. And yeah, it's always just internal stuff, but still, I try. And I'm not perfect, nobody is, but you know, just one of those things you do try. Really good at the PC side of things. With the Mac SE I worked on for Macintosh was the only the second Mac you owned. Oh, what was the first Mac you owned? Was it a new one? SE is a great machine. Absolutely. And what SE do you have? Is it an 800K one? Is it FDHD one? We need to know the deets! Don't hold out on us. Ugh, so much gunk just hiding right under there. You just see that when I move that like that. That was nasty. And you can see here, I'll zoom in a bit. Look right where this text C14 is. You can see that corrosion has eaten its way a little bit. Or is that just a component seen through from the other side? It might just be from the other side there. But you see that green there. And that might just be another layer on the board. Maybe I'm just exaggerating. But that looks much better than it did before. Oh, let's follow up on here. Amiga collection was just as big as his Mac collection. Wow, that's impressive. You know, I really didn't... I have one Amiga that I'm holding on to for a friend. It's not mine, but I've never really played around with them. I hear they're great machines, though. You did get an iMac G3 restore a few months back when I fell victim to the macOS 10 boot bug that messed up the video. Managed to get it working again by using a G3 tower to put VNC software on it. Ah, remote firmware update. Yes. Okay, I have a story about that. What iMac was it? Was it a slot load iMac by any chance? You know, with the slot loading optical drive instead of the tray loading one? Print and Play? Because if so, I know that experience all too well. All too well. Alright, let's see. That area's cleaned up a bit. This is nasty. We're going to probably have to do some work over here. Not that one. Well, we do have to do the work there, but... yeah, this is... ugh. That's probably was not making a connection. And this poor chip is going to have to come off. Slot load Blueberry! Yes! Okay, so, story time. My aunt, and I still have her machine, she had a special edition iMac Graphite G3 450 megahertz model, DVD-ROM and everything. Ran OS 9, was very happy with it, but it was time to upgrade to her to OS 10. I think we had Jaguar 10.2. That was the first version of OS 10 I believe she upgraded to. And when you booted it up, yes, and I'll get to that. That Apple told us that. When you boot it up from the OS 10 installer, you got this weird red band on the screen. It's like, oh, that's weird. And so we went to install OS 10, and it was sort of bugging out. And so it was still under support, so we called up Apple, and they're like, did you update the firmware? And we said no. And they said, well, you have to update the firmware. But I think we already copied everything off the hard drive when we erased it, so we didn't have a way to just update the firmware or download anything or whatever from the firmware, or whatever the case may be. And they said, do not reset the PRAM on that machine. You will blow the logic board. You'll fry the logic board. And that scared the crap out of me. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to do that. So I had my iBook with me and an external CD burner, and we burned a disk of the firmware. We were able to update the firmware in OS 9 or however we were able to do it, and it worked great. You know, we were successful in updating the firmware to install OS 10. But if you don't do that on those iMac G3s, you could be in for a world of hurt. And so that was a very interesting lesson to learn. And that was Apple themselves saying, do not reset the PRAM, which was good, because back then that wasn't one of the things I normally tried. But yeah, that could have been disastrous. Yeah, this chip is going to have to come off. In fact, we'll probably do that now. Let's see, is there any copper still under there? I think so. Just very dirty. Nasty. Need more flux. I blew away my Pyram before updating the firmware. It took me 3 days to recover. So what were you able to do? Did you just have to like unplug everything and let it sit? Or what was your solution to that? I'm curious. Oh yeah, that's disgusting. Ugh. Yeah, see all that grime and stuff just coming in from the old solder. I do have to get one of my vintage PC floppy drives working, the 5 1/4 drives. I have some discs that are Apple related that I have to image. I don't have a PC that's currently working that lets me do that, so that's gonna be a project that I'll have to do. Yeah, I guess while we're here, let's just rip this chip off. Sorry, just catching up on the chat. It failed to boot after booting up the OS 10, so the threads. First thing was clear PRAM, did that. Next thread was under no circumstances with the PRAM. So then I took the drive out, plugged in G3, put the firmware loader into it, but didn't work. Finally tried adding VNC Server to it. First we were able to connect. VNC Server froze. Of course it did. 10.4 installer. Firmware again. Disable the cheaper PRAM. He also had a 500, 600, 1000, 2000, 3000, and 4000 Amiga. Oh wow, very nice, very nice. Early Monday stream. Yes, it is quite early. Is there a way to write old HFS disks on modern Mac OS? I think so, Adam. I haven't used anything like that. You should just use a beige G3. I just use the old stuff. It's less painless. I'm sure there's some Linux trickery, or Unix trickery rather, to let you do that. I saw some things in a thread, but I'm not sure, Adam. Maybe the Hive Mind knows. Long enough to update the firmware. Oh, that's great. Finally added some additional plugins. VNC worked. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that studio display is just using the same A13 chip. Apparently has some RAM storage built into there. It's interesting. Nice. Well, I look forward to that. If you're going to release a video on that, let us know. Be sure to post it on Tinker Different. That's a great place to share experiences like that. It's always fun reading those stories. All right, so let's switch to the above camera again. Let's see if we could zoom in on this area, huh? Well, that's not exactly the area I want to zoom in on, but hold on. That's close enough. We'll do that. I'll just switch the camera here. It's going to be a bit delayed. Well, that's not too bad, actually. Oh, yeah, tinkerdifferent.com. Excellent Apple community. I say that. I'm one of the founding members, so I have to say that. But excellent, excellent community. Where did I put my tweezers? There they are. So I'm going to try and get this chip off of here and see what disgusting things lie inside. Under it, rather, not inside. Oh, it smells awful. Let's take a look at this. Oh, it's not as terrible as I thought, but those pads are definitely disgusting. To clean those up. (1024 by 768). Yes, it does, Adam. We're all very proud of you. Hey, Jeff, how's it going? I know, Justin. It's so picky with links, isn't it? It's so picky. It's funny, Bruce also has a syringe of flux that's slightly cracked, as is mine, which makes it really annoying when you're trying to put flux down. It just, you know, leaks all over. Oh yeah, look at all that dirt coming right off. That's a problem if you have these chips next to capacitors. That goo has to go somewhere, and sometimes they'll take the pad along with it, but... ugh, just look at how muddy this all is. So sometimes just putting a little solder ball on the end of your iron, and carefully just hovering over these. You don't want to put too much pressure. You can easily rip the pads off, especially if it's been sitting there and corroding for 30 years. Or 20 years, 10 years, however long it's been. This one at the top here is going to give me extra trouble. But you don't want to spend too much time on that because you could easily rip the cap off. The pad, rather. Yeah, SCSI 2SD is great, so is the blue SCSI. Excellent options to get a new-ish type of storage on your older Mac that's going to give you longevity for years to come. Let's clean this up a little bit, see how that looks, huh? Oh yeah, that's what we like to see. Much better. Much better. That's much better. See? That's what we like. Alright, so let's focus on this chip here. Let's see, how nasty is this? Just a little bit. We'll clean that up. So here's the flux that's just hanging off my syringe. Oh. Well, we'll try at least. And just get some solder on the tip of the iron. We're just going to clean up these pins. Heat them up a little bit. You see things start to bubble. This is a good example. There's some gunk between these pins, and we'll get that off of there. But if there's enough flux, none of the solder will really adhere where you don't want to. Well, as I say that, it does. But the trick with that is to just keep going back and forth. Maybe get some more flux over there. Everything's proving me wrong today. Steven said something, let's not do it on camera. There we go. Kind of, you know what I mean. Let's try the other side for a little bit. Flip this over. Oh, just come on. Oh yeah, that's a great smell. You need to be careful because sometimes these pins will just fly right off. Thankfully, these seem to be pretty sturdy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my scalpel because it's the only thing really thin and pointy enough that I have. Get all that dust off of it first. Ooh. There we go. Just do this underside and just get all that stuff out from under there because you do not want that crap in there. Get as much of that off as you can. You're not going to ever be perfect, I don't think, unless you ultrasonically clean it or whatnot. But yeah, there's some crud there we want to get out. And then we're going to give it a good brushing, which we're able to because this isn't too bad as far as the legs as such. We're just going to give it a vigorous scrub with some isopropyl alcohol and this toothbrush here. There we go. It's much better. Oh, come on, flip over, please. There we go. These tweezers are terrible. I do have a pack of, like, a multi-pack of tweezers I bought. Just to find where I put them. Probably in a drawer somewhere. Well, the end of that does not look too good. Let's just clean that up. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so let's put this chip back on the board. Where it belongs. Like so. Let's see if we can clean up these pads a little bit while we're at it. Sorry, just catching up with the chat here. Mac SE was dusty, the original parent battery. All that. Great. Good camera. Oh yeah, look, mistakes happen. Don't beat yourself up. Trust me, we've all been there. We've all been there. We've all dropped tools on an irreplaceable Macintosh portable backlight screen and went into a deep depression for the next following month and a half. We've all been there. Bad memories. I want to make sure these paths are as clean as possible. These little pads here. I don't know why I said paths. Kind of look like paths. Because when that chip goes on, you want it to be flat and even and all this stuff. This one still has some crud there. I have to just get that with the scalpel. Go scrapey, scrapey. That's not too bad now. Just be very careful with this because you could easily rip up a pad. We do not want to do that. That looks okay. Excellent. We catch up on the chat here. Waiting. That sounds like a good recipe there, Kai. You should add that to Tinker Different. Oh, you do have a question. Please ask away. You've all been there. I never make mistakes. What about the time, Jay, you forgot to hook up all the ground parts, all the wires on the CRT you were working on, and then you plugged in the sparks went everywhere? Remember that? I remember. That would seem to be a pretty big boo-boo to me. I'm sorry, you haven't bribed me enough to forget about that, so I'm gonna keep bringing it up. Chip back into place. Alright, we have a question. So, I know the eject mechanism between the 800K and future drives is a lot different. Like with the newer eject drives, they got rid of auto inject eject. Yep. But, if I connect a 2 megabyte floppy drive, you mean the 1.4 meg, to the SE externally, so I could reach the eject button, will it be able to read write disks on the SE? I know the SE won't read one. Okay, so the SE, the chips will only recognize the 800K disks. I have never plugged in a 1.4 meg drive to an 800K SE. I don't know personally if that will damage it. I've never tried. A few people here might know. I know they also made external drives, 800K drives, that worked with those machines. So you might just be able to get an external 800K drive. They also were compatible with some of the Apple II models. So that might be your best bet, but if you already have, one of those, that may be helpful. Yeah, in order to... Okay, so it will work as just an 800K drive. It just won't understand the format. Is that what you're saying, Kai? Because I've never personally tried that, so I don't want to recommend something. And this is the great thing about having all these smart people here. If I don't know my answer, somebody else does. Just anchoring down this chip here before we can solder it on properly. Sure, it doesn't move about. Yeah, do not use a 400K in an SE, but an 800 should be okay. As far as I'm remembering. You could do some drag soldering. I'm not doing it at this moment. I am doing whatever this is I'm doing. I guess, well, I'll drag solder on this one. This seems to be fine. So if you have enough flux there, you could just drag your soldering iron with a little bit of solder on it. And there you go. The chip is back on, and it looks pretty good. You are very welcome. I'm glad somebody was able. We're a collective team to answer the question. There you go. Go team! Well, that chip on there looks much better than it did before. So now we just need all the capacitor friends to go back on there. Now, like I said, I don't think I have all the caps for this, so we won't be doing a full recap on this today. But that chip looked pretty darn gnarly, so I wanted to fix that. There was also another chip around here that had some green on it. Let me see if I can find that. And we'll neutralize that while we're here. Let's see. Yeah, that was this guy here. So let's just give this good old scrub. A lot of the voltage stuff. If there's a voltage reference there, it looks like. So we don't want to take any chances with any of this stuff. This board will be ultrasonically cleaned and this and that, but still, there's some gunk there to get off. That shit may have to come off, but for now I think we'll leave it. Those pads will have to be cleaned, etc. when we put new caps on, but yes, Adam knows quite a bit about 800K drives and SEs and all that stuff, so feel free to ping Adam on Twitter if you want to have a chat. I think Adam's also on tinkerdifferent.com, so if you want to start a support thread or help thread there, you're welcome to do so. Yes, Kai points out which models of the SE support the Super Wozniak integrated machine chipset that actually has that soldered onto the board, which lets you, well, not soldered, but clipped on, well, whatever it is, lets you read those higher capacity floppies. Okay, so let me take a look here at the caps that I have. I'm pretty sure I do not have all of them for the portable. Let me double check. I'm gonna grab web browser here. How long have we been streaming for? About an hour and a half. Okay, pretty good. I am going to open my good friend Bruce at Brankus Creations website, recapamac.com. Oh, Jimmy, nice to see you here, buddy. Yeah, these machines are fun to work on. If you rewind some of the streams, you will see some of the loveliness that we've had to occur. This hasn't even been the worst one I've seen, but we had to take off this chip just before. This guy right here. Jimmy has an excellent collection of Macs, and I'm always happy to see what he posts on Instagram, especially during Macintosh. I'm posting a lot of cool stuff there. Anyway, let me grab over my window capture here so we can look at the website that I'm about to boast about. Let's put that. There we go. So, recapamac.com, this is where I get all my recapping guides. Bruce at Brankus Creations on YouTube has an excellent set of recapping guides here. Here's one for the Macintosh Portable. This is the Backlight version. There are two different versions. Just going to click on that. Let's zoom in a bit here. And we have all the lists of the capacitors here. I do have this one. Have the 4716s, but a lot of, like this one I might not have. So we're going to see what I can do here. But excellent stuff. Oh, not Super Woz. Well, Kai, I learned something new today. I'll never remember Sanders, but Sanders Wozniak integrated machine. I always thought it was Super Wozniak. Well, shows what I know. Yeah, Jimmy just has a few Macs. Just a few. Oh boy. Thank you very much, Justin, for putting the link in there. Oh, okay. So let's see. I'm gonna hide this page here just so you can see me rummage through things, because some people like that. I don't know. You're living vicariously through me. Let's move the microscope out of the way, and we'll see if we could. turn that off. Turn the fan off for a moment. And let me move this board just behind me here. Just so we have some more room to work here. And we're going to see if we have all the capacitors for this, huh? Hey, Trina, how's it going? That's right. Okay, Kai. That makes sense. All right, so we need a bunch of different caps here. Let's see if we could find them. So we need a 10 microfarad, 16 volt. We need 2 of those, and we have a whole bundle of them right here. So I'm going to grab 2 and just pray that they're the right size. Let's see where those go. 10 microfarads. Of course, it's going to be right next to that. Yeah, that'll be okay. I mean, I do have smaller ones of these. Yeah, you know what? Oops. I got myself caught on that. I might have to use the smaller ones just because that area is so tiny there. Yeah. Alright, so I have some of these radial / axial ones here. 470, 25 volt. Now, these are 16 volts, so not exactly what that requires. Although I think the originals, I threw them out already. Take a look what the rating of the original one was. Now, the originals were 25, yeah. So sometimes you'll list a higher rating on them, but yeah, so that's why I don't have a lot of these, because they're slightly different than what I usually would get. 100 microfarad, 25. Oh, I have one of those, so I could use one of those. Got a bunch of those. I don't know why. Maybe for some power supply caps. But I could use one of those. So how many do we need? We need 4. Okay. So again, might not do all of these today, but I'm just setting aside some of these caps. Because I do have to order some. So this will help remind me which ones I got to get. Those are 16 volts. I need the 25. Here's a recap kit, but that I'm going to leave alone. These are for Color Classics. I have a few more of those analog boards I have to do. Let's see, these are also 16 volt. What is this little one guy all alone? This is a 100 microfarad, 25 volt, but it's just a little tiny one. So where are those? Do we need a tiny one for that? No, those all look to be big chunky ones. At least it looks that way. Let's double check here. Yep. Yeah, those could all use the bigger ones. Don't have to worry about that. These are for my 2GS power supply. Can I steal any of those? No. Just checking. It never hurts to take a look. See what you already have, because money is a bit tight right now. The whole job situation being... well, these aren't radials, but I could technically use the 220 to 25 on that, but I'll order some radials. They're not too expensive. I am getting reimbursed in one way or another for this job, so let's put these back in here. Sorry, just catching up. You just got the hard drives. Excellent. I will try and be there, at least for a portion of it, Trina. So we'll text the details out, but I don't know if I'll be able to I'll be there for the entire time, but I will keep you company for as long as I can. Sorry, just checking our little things, the capacitors here. Just seeing if I have any of the small 10 microfarad 16 volt ones that we have to use. Those are 50. That's fine. I could use that. 2533. Oh, that was for the clone. Macintosh clone I was playing around with. Yeah, these are all sizes that would not be appropriate for that. I have another one of these thingamajigs just hanging out here. Here it is. Should put it back in here, because otherwise I'll lose it. So I tried to sort these by 16 volts and so on and whatnot, and I kind of failed doing that, but yeah. Those are 6.3100. Yeah, I don't need any of those. All different sizes. So we'll leave those alone. So yeah, I'm going to have to order some caps, unfortunately. But here's the 1016. I need 2 of them. Yeah, these are much smaller. And I'll show you on the microscope an example of that. So we'll grab some of those. And yeah, close that. And yeah, let's take out one of these just as an example here. This one's already used, but you'll see why. And I will have to pretty much order some new caps because I do not have the right ones for the portable. Ran out. But let's take a look. I want to show you how small these capacitors are and why it's good when you're ordering these capacitors to look at the length or the width of them, because you could easily run into a situation where your life is going to be a big mess of hurt just by trying to recap the board because you got a size of capacitor that doesn't really fit the job you're trying to do. And look, we've all been there. I'm not saying boo-hoo, you know, shame on you or anything like that. I'm just saying make your life a lot easier. So let me show you an example here. Switch back to the microscope view. And let's get a focus in here correctly. There we go. All right, so here's what we got going on here. Look at this. These are the caps that I need to put new caps on, right? And these two are the same value. Well, not the same value, but just illustrating a point here. This is a normal cap size, a normal tantalum cap size that I would normally get. You can see if I were to place this here, I'd have very little room to put my soldering iron in here. That'd be a very difficult job to do. However, I'm using one of these small little baby caps. Look how much room I have with my iron. I can just easily fit that in and solder that in. The same goes for here. We have even smaller clearances here. But with these smaller caps, I could do that. With this, it would be impossible. Be no way I could feasibly fit that on except if I was using hot air or something like that. But see how much of a difference that makes. Ooh, great job there, Kai. That sounds like fun. No worries, Trina. See you later. 40 Apple IIs of various models. Adam, you king of Apple IIs. It's a great score, Kai. That's the you pay that just for the keyboard alone. Oh boy. Alrighty. So yeah, that's my little cap tutorial there about what to look out for when you're buying caps. You want to make sure you can measure them. Unfortunately, Mauser sometimes doesn't list the measurements. You have to go ahead and go to like DigiKey or one of those places. I thought I put 2 caps here. I'm only seeing the one. Did I accidentally like move it around on the board? Hold on a second. I only have like 10 of them. I don't want to lose any if I don't have to. Uh-oh. Steve made a boo-boo. He lost a cap. Well, we'll find it eventually. I'm going to put this back in the bag so I don't lose it. But yes. Soldering iron clearance. Okay, let's get back to here. So, I can't really continue with this board because I don't have the caps right now, so I will have to do a Mauser order. That will be something I will do in the near future. I'm going to run upstairs, get a bottle of water, or a drink of water rather, because I am quite parched. I will be right back in one moment. Let me just put up the be right back thing, and you groove to the music. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I'm back. No, I just went upstairs to get a glass of water. I don't know if I'm going to continue for too much longer. I'm going to have lunch and have a nice walk with my wife for a bike ride. So I'm going to just go over a few things here, then we'll wrap up. I did get a box of good stuff. Where is it? There's a box here. You can't see it. But it's it's basically some goodies that someone found in a field. Won't be opening that right now, but we're going to do another live stream. Or maybe I'll just do it as like a little shorts video or something like that. Not a short. It'll be longer than 60 seconds. But I want to do a fun thing with that. So I'm just going to sort of talk about some things. We'll be doing that. What else are we working on? The Mac 2, we'll be looking at that again. Hopefully we could figure out the startup circuitry there. That's going to be fun. I did get some videotapes. And did I bring the box down here? I probably forgot to. Damn it. There's a box of macOS 7.5 training videotapes that Dana of Dana Does Stuff sent me in the Mac Yak show. And it has a book and 2 videotapes. So I have to digitize those because those will be fun. And what else? Well, I just got a box here. I don't know what it is. Probably something I bought off eBay. Make sure I hide the address here. We could open this, see what's inside. I don't know. The name doesn't ring a bell. It might be something from eBay, which I don't think I ordered anything recently. But it might also just be boards to repair. I think it's boards to repair. We'll figure it out together. I'm going to guess it's boards to repair. There's a paper in here. No, that's just another shipping label. I don't think I remember ordering this. Oh, wait! Oh, I know what this is. This is something cool. I sniped this on eBay. I was not going to pay a lot of money for this because it's just a silly thing. That came pretty darn quick. Most of you know I have sort of an obsession with image writer printers. And I have almost all of them. The only one I do not have, I have all 3 revisions of the image writer. The one for the Apple II, the more popular one that was like mass produced for years and years, and just one of the lighter ones with the power supply moved to a different type. And then I have the LQ, which is a very beautiful one. I do not have the original image writer that they sold for a brief period of time. That was a 15-inch model, I believe, that was a bit wider. I do not have one of those. But that is one of the ones I'm still looking out for. They are not too common. They didn't sell them for a period of time because they didn't sell well. I also have the sheet feeder, so you could use normal sheets of paper, a stack of the sheets of paper, for the Image Writer 2 and the Image Writer LQ. Although the Image Writer 2 one, the rolls are all dried up a bit. However, this is something cool. This is an envelope attachment for the Image Writer LQ. So you could print on envelopes. How cool is that? So this was on eBay. These are... I've never seen one in person. Never even knew what they looked like. But I knew there was an attachment for it because I saw it on a listing one day. And this, I think, cost me about $30 or $40 shipped on eBay. I sniped it up. Sorry if anybody else was trying to grab it. But I have a weird affinity for these image writers. I will test it out. I will try and use it. But it was in the box. It looks like it's in pretty good shape. I hope there's something inside. It's pretty darn light, but there is some heft to it. Let's look at that together. Well, Jimmy, it's very rare that I have something that you don't have, but this seems to be in the original packaging. Look at that. So how about that? This looks just like a piece of plastic here. And don't know exactly how this works. But I assume you feed an envelope through here, and you could do some adjustments, I guess. Image writer LQ envelope attachment, model number A9G0343, serial number BD74811-6R, copyright 1987. I wonder how many of these are out there. I guess this would be able to be replicated through modern means of 3D printing and stuff if you really wanted to, but this looks pretty intricate. I'm not sure. Oh, okay, that moves up like that. Not really sure how this works. I'll have to look up like the instructions and stuff, but very cool. Very, very cool. See if I can put this back in there. Did it go that way? Nope, it did go that way. Now I have to do. I do have to print some envelopes, and I do some fan mail or something like that. We'll all be pen pals, and I'll print out envelopes, and it'll be much more time consuming than it's worth, I'm sure. But it's cool to have the box. Yeah, it would be tough to 3D print. I guess if you're dedicated, though, if you really wanted one. Yeah, but I just think that's cool. I just think that's neat. Has the box and everything, the old Apple logo there. When will we have an envelope printing stream? Well, I will say when I reach 10,000 subscribers, which might be in a week or two or whenever that is, we will be printing out a nice banner. A nice banner that says 10,000. The last banner I printed says 5. So, you know, we're well overdue for a live stream banner printing-a-thon, whatever you want to call it. Send out resumes printed on it. I swear, I'm looking for a new job. But Steven, you're still unemployed. No, I've been sending out my resumes to everybody. 10,000 envelopes for 10,000 subs. Oh, that poor printer. That poor printer. My goodness. Oh, boy. Yeah, the Raspberry Pi with the sound bus sharing, that's always very, very handy when you're sending things back and forth. Just catching up on the chat here. Yeah, so trying to think if there's anything else to cover today. I do have a few boards I have to get back cleaned up for customers. That's a LC520 board and a classic board that I have to mail back that's international. So that's going to be a bit tricky to figure out. I have to measure that box. I'll do that right after lunch. But yeah, that's why this is not going to be a super long stream here today. So we're gonna cut it off in just a few minutes. Anybody have any questions? Feel free to chime in. I will have another video coming out on Thursday or Friday, and that is going to be looking at a bunch of Macs and goodies that I got from a friend of mine in New York, and he was moving, and he basically gave me half a van full of stuff. Really cool stuff. I wish I knew Kai. I'm going to recap one for somebody soon as part of a trade, but other than that, good luck. I did pick up something more modern fairly recently, and I have to thank my friend on Discord. Let me pull up the. I want to remember the dates right because I think it was last week. Time is so weird. I will be streaming with Trina later tonight. Trina of Trina's Technobabble. Let me get her channel up here. I'll be co-hosting for a little bit. I believe that's at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. Let me grab her YouTube channel here. There we go. Paste that in there. Print and play. I would like one too. Please. Kai and I will buy out the stack. How about that? Mostly Kai. He could afford it. I can't. I'll get a sympathy 2x or whatever. But Trina's Technobabble, subscribe to that. She will be doing a stream later today at 8 p.m. and I'll be there to tinker around with her as she tinkers with some power books. Yeah, like the stream and subscribe to her channel, please. One thing I do want to mention is I got 2 machines fairly recently, and that was in part good to my friend RetroFox on Twitter, and they're also my Discord channel, and they found they're not too far away from me in the state of New Jersey, and they found an iMac G5, at least they thought it was an iMac G5, for $10. Oh, good night, Jimmy. Thank you very much for joining. Greatly appreciate the love and attention on the stream. Have a good one and take care. And we thought it was an iMac G5. It was listed for $10. And you beg to differ on the afford part. I'm just messing with you, Kai. You can afford it better than I can. Let's just say that. And the iMac G5 was $10. And then they lowered down to $5. I said, okay. It's like literally 10 minutes away. I'll go check it out. And brought it home. It turned on and everything from what the seller claimed. Brought it home. Turns out it was an Intel one. It was an Intel 2006 Core Duo. Not even a Core 2 Duo. Just a Core Duo. A standard Core Duo iMac. 17-inch. And I bought the 20-inch model when it was brand new. So it's cool to have the 17-inch model. So that'll be something I'll play around with. It was $5. You can't really complain. And then the same person was at a flea market the other day, and they found an iMac G4 with the speakers and the keyboard. Not a matching keyboard, but a keyboard anyway. And the power cord. It was in pretty darn good condition, and that ended up being $35 for an iMac G4. So I'm going to be doing, I think, just a standalone video of me tinkering around with them, turning them on, see if they work, and just exploring them, because I think those were great pickups. $40 for two machines is not a bad price at all. I'll probably rehome at least one of them. I don't necessarily need the machines, but I want to, get them, clean them up. Maybe I'll bring them to VCF and put them into the for sale pile. Yeah. The G3 tower, is it a mini tower, a beige one, or is it a blue and white one, print and play? Let us know, because if it's a beige one, you can actually use an ATX power supply, and there's like a little jumper on the logic board, apparently. Yes, you are. You are a bad influence, Retro Fox, but in the best way. You said it perfectly. How many envelopes for an image writer chuck if an image writer could chuck envelopes? Probably a good amount. I'd say probably a good amount. But thank you very much, Retro Fox, for sending those things my way. That was exciting things to go pick up, so thank you for giving me the tip on that. Not that I needed those machines, but it was so tempting. I couldn't say no. Blue and white G3. Okay, I don't know if you could easily use an ATX power supply with that. Again, maybe somebody in the Tinker Different forum would know, but I'm getting quite hungry for lunch, so I think I'm going to break here. But I'd like to thank everybody for all the super chats, likes, subscribes, all that stuff. I will be posting a video later this week. I'll put it on Patreon probably tomorrow or the day after. And that's going to be me looking through the van of goodies my friend gave me. I filmed it before VCF swap meet. So my goodness, that when was that? That was the end of February. Jeez, yeah. So that video has been edited. I just had to push that out, but I wanted to do the video on that Macworld article, because that was sort of timely, so I wanted to get that out. And that was a video on should you still buy an Intel Mac, or Intel Macs still usable and viable in this day and age. The answer is yes. Go watch that video if you haven't done so already. I tried to post it on the Apple subreddit, and they removed my link. They apparently have no problem with people on YouTube posting links to their M1 Studio reviews and all this stuff, but I tried to post a link to my video about the Intel Macs as a discussion point. Per their rules, they state, hey, you could share things that are worthy of discussion. And I thought, oh, that's worthy of a discussion. Nope, they didn't like it. They removed it. Whatever. All right, Adam, excellent. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Sad Mac and Retro Fox. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the stream. Sort of an early lunchtime-esque type of stream here. But if you like these sorts of ones, if it gets you through your workday, helps you get over that hump of Monday. Ugh, Mondays are terrible. Hopefully that helped a little bit. So I'm going to sign off here for now. But I guess for the good old YouTubes, we'll make this an exact 2-hour stream. So I'll just fill some time here for the next 90 seconds. We like those numbers to be even. I'm going to hit the end stream button so I could actually end it on time. But yeah, I haven't gotten a new Raspberry Pi yet. I have to get one of those. I have the Model 2 is I think the last one I have. But I need a newer one, so I get Potato Fi's case that they sell for the Rascuzzy, because it only fits with like the bigger Raspberry Pi. So Rascuzzy, Blue Scuzzy, all the good stuff. Go to the Open Retro Scuzzy Discord channel. do a search on that to find it. But yeah, how many people are still here? 30 people. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining today. Thank you very much for the super chats, the likes, subscribes, all that stuff. I do have new content coming out soon. And if you missed the beginning of the stream, you can just rewind that. That's going to be great. Because I keep all the live streams up here. I used to remove them back in the day. But there is going to be a post on Patreon for the video that's coming out Thursday or so. So be sure to check that out. My Patreon tier starts at $1. So if you want to throw $1 a month my way, that is very much appreciative. Not begging or anything, just saying. You get a lot of behind the scenes stuff before I even post it. And a lot of exclusive stuff. There's actually a video from January that's no longer makes sense to post. So I'll probably post it in there. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Take care, everyone. And I'll see you later. Tune in to Trina's stream later tonight at 8 p.m. Bye.